All right, we live. What's going on, Wyatt? How's everything?
Doing good, man. Happy
All
to
right,
be here.
good, man. We back again. My homie, my friend Wyatt. Like we said last time, if you watched the video, if you haven't, check it out. The link will be down below. But just in case, this is Wyatt Gilmore. He's a coach. We met through a group, met through a course that we were both taking, and he's going to be here today talking about what he does in fitness and how he can possibly be of some help and some support to you. So, and we're just going to sit here and we're just going to have a regular old conversation. All right. So, Wyatt, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So, how long you been in this coaching space?
So I was in the gyms before COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've been coaching online after that.
Yeah.
Working with one-on-one with men. In the gyms, there's just a lot you can't touch. You know, a lot of the PTs you're filling time. You're filling time with like sit-ups, push-ups to fill the hour because it's like, oh, we better catch up and get some sweat going and do all that. But really, the thing is, it's like what's different with training online is that we can really talk about what's bugging you, and then get like what this whole thing's about is the consistency every week, right?
Yeah, every week. So when you're coaching people, do you have a specific amount of time that that people should work out each week or something like that? Do you have like a go-to amount of time, or like, I guess what I'm kind of asking is, like, to you, when we talk about consistency and stuff like that, like, for me, actually, let me back up. So when I talk about consistency, I'm pretty much talking about what plan you're currently on. Like, if you work out 3, 4, 5 days a week, right? And be consistent to just do that every single week, right? So when you look at consistency and what you offer to your clients, what does that look like?
I think with the consistency, with just the goal for working out,
Mm-hmm.
is bringing in like 3 days with fourth as a plus, right? Because then you save some for later, which is always kind of a good way to go.
Yeah.
Save some energy for something else, especially because life is busy, right? It's easy to be pulled in a million directions. And so if you say, hey, I'm going to hit 3 days, but then on the fourth day you go, I could do it. That's a nice place to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of the stuff comes down to wanting to get consistent with other things too, not just the gym. I like this quote, right? How you do anything is how you do everything. And so if we can get our run in or some weightlifting, it's going to show up at work. It's going to show up in relationship. It's like everything in the body's connected, and everything you do out in the world is connected.
Yeah, I like that. So you mentioned about people being busy. That's almost an understatement. So what happens when, what are some steps that people can do, that are like struggling right there? Like, they have like no time left in their day. Like, they got kids, they got the dog, they got the husband, they got the wife, they got all these different things going on in their life. So, what about these people? Because sometimes I talk to people all the time, and as you know, and people are like, look, I just don't have time to work out. I just don't have time. So what do you say to something like that?
Yeah. With the time thing, right? Time comes up a lot. We both hear that one. Because it feels like just so expendable, and time is that resource you never get back.
Yeah.
But you can change what you do next week. I think the number one way to get more time to do stuff you're trying to do is just journal out, right? Get some time with your notebook for a minute, just plan out what you want to go and do. And then if you need to start like this, like, family's important, but maybe you need to get a walk with your partner or whoever is close to you, because then you're doing some sort of fitness with them. Maybe it's not the whole gym hour, but you're getting something, which is important.
Yeah. Journaling. So, all right. So I haven't heard of too many people who mix journaling in with fitness. I personally think it's a great tool. So, is that something that you work with your clients in? Do your clients journal? And what?
100%. Everybody does it with me.
Yeah. All right, that's good, man. What do you think of some of the benefits of journaling versus not journaling?
Especially at the beginning, right? You get the overwhelm because maybe you had a couple good workouts and that filled your ego for now, or you feel like that's it. And then 3 weeks down the line, 4 weeks down the line, you're forgetting about how good you felt. So now you just feel like this is routine, and routine is good, but then at some point it keeps you how you are.
Yeah.
So if you feel weak right now, right, you feel like, oh, these workouts aren't that good because you're going off a feeling. If you're just looking at how you feel right now, you forget how good you felt 2 weeks ago or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you recorded how you felt and you saw what you did that week, maybe we need to replicate some of that. And so when you can plan to do a certain thing that is going to get that energy going,
Yeah.
every week you can kind of remind yourself, let's get back in.
Yeah, I got I remember when I was in Korea a few years ago, back in 2014, I got the biggest and strongest I ever been in my life. Like I was like 180, 190. I was benching like 280. Like everything was going well. Hold up, pause. All right, one of the things that I've heard other people doing was journaling as well. I have experimented with it. I'm not a big reader and I'm not a big writer, but the experimentation that I have done with it, I found that it has been successful. And when I was back in Korea back in 2014, I wrote down all my workouts, everything that I was eating. I ate everything. That was the biggest I had been in my life. I was super disciplined. I had my structure was very good. I had routine. Everything was just clicking. But it was good to go back, in a few years later and look at those lifts and those squats and different things that I had done. And when I got, fast forward, he's like, man, I can still, I could probably still do some of those things again if I pushed, you know what I mean? So yeah, but journaling as far as writing down different things like that, I haven't done as much of that. But I have done some experiment with it, and I have found that it is successful, and you can pull from that information in the present, that stuff that you did in the past. You're like, oh man, remember I did this, remember I did that. And you can kind of use those things if like, I don't know, it's almost like fuel or something, you know what I mean? To help energize you, to help be more successful in the future.
And the journaling goes right into like your imagination. The hack of imagination is like you can imagine how you felt, and because you're reading the story of how you felt that day.
Yeah.
Whereas like you just want it, it's out in the future, your most powerful self, or how you want to show up one day with a six pack or benching 280. But it's like, you can think back to 4 years ago, and if you wrote it down in a journal, you pick that book up and read the story of you when you were at that goal. And like, yeah, it goes away a little bit maybe. You can just kind of dwell on it a little bit. Go, all right, if I was going to do that goal right now, if I was going to like gear up for it, I'd have to start with lifting those kind of weights and eating this kind of meal plan or whatever. But I think, whether you've done it in the past or if it's like new to you, just journaling down what you're going and doing. We do this with work. We do this. We make a plan when we go and build something. It's like we got to journal our time.
Yeah. So do you journal every day? And like, if you do, like, how do you pick out certain topics to journal on, or is it something that kind of sort of just comes to you?
I think in the beginning, it's like you have this blank page and you just feel like it's meaningless kind of. What you got to do is you could get a journal with like some prompts in there. We could look them up online. I think you start with the question. If I was going to get in shape, what would I have to do? And you'll go make a list. Like out of nowhere, you go make a list. Everybody. it's like a heat-seeking missile.
Mm.
Like it knows how to figure it out for you.
Yeah.
Here's a little concept, right, that
Mm-hmm.
I go off of a lot. It's like, so Albert Einstein says if you're gonna fix a problem, you can't resolve it with the same thinking that created it.
Ooh, he was pretty smart from what they say.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah.
But
he
like when you think of that, you're like, how do you think differently?
yeah. Yeah. How
Like,
do
how do
you
you? It's
think
a
differently?
big question. How do you think differently then?
Mm-hmm.
And this goes right into routine. It's like if you're in a routine of like button up against not feeling like you're in the shape you want to be in, you're like, well,
Mm-hmm.
how am I consistently having this problem?
Mm-hmm.
It's because you're thinking of it like a problem, kind of.
Routine. Oh my goodness. How important is routine? How important do you think is routine? Because I think it's in the top 5 as far as as far as the things that you need in order to be able to meet your goals, and whether that's fitness or whether that's in life. I feel like you have to have some sort of routine.
You need the routine, and then if a routine is not working, this is where that goes, right? You got to change your thinking. If the routine doesn't serve you anymore, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it's like you feel the bad feeling about it, but you just can't figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So if we say that thought, that quote again, right? Albert Einstein says that you can't think your way out of this problem with the same thinking that got you into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is the thing right here, is that you think, oh, the answer, I don't have it, and it gets you frustrated and everything. You have to put the question first, then you go get more answers. If you just start with the answer, like, oh, I want to bench 280 and I'm not there yet, you
Mm-hmm.
just get full of questions. How come this guy does it? How come I'm not doing it? You keep on getting a question after.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're still dealing with the problem.
Yeah.
But you start with the question. It's like the opposite of, you're thinking differently now.
So the question would be is, what do I have to do in order to be able to bench 280?
Mm-hmm.
And then
And
come up with a
that,
whole list
oh
of
yeah,
different things.
because now you could ask your friend. You could Google some stuff. You could, now you have this laundry list of answers.
So all you did was it was just mindset. It's a mind shift switch, or how I was viewing it or how I was looking at it, and even how I spoke it and how I spoke it. Because
Yeah,
that's honestly, I think for a lot of people, especially, yeah, I think that's probably something that's pretty accurate with a lot of people. Because I will always do that. I'm like, man, that dude can bench 280.
yeah.
You know what I
Oh
mean? Or
yeah.
he can do this. You know what
You
I
just
mean?
see them, and you see them in that frozen, in that
Yeah.
moment. It's like,
Yeah.
damn, he's lifting that, or he's able to run this race or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's all the races that he ran before. It's all the weights
Mm-hmm.
he lifted to get there. It didn't just
Yep.
happen.
Yep. Didn't just happen. And I think that's where I'm not get too far from social media, but I think that's what where a lot of people lose is they look at the people on social media. They may look at someone like you and they like, oh man, this dude, he's a good looking guy, he's in shape, has a nice body, all these different things. But they don't see, the routine, the discipline, the hard work. They don't always see everything that goes into that. And I think with social media now, a lot of people are putting on they're putting on their best face. And I think for most people, when it comes to social media, they only see the after effect. They only see what happened after the hard work, after everything that happened in the dark. You know what I mean? And they're looking for an easy way. And the reality of it is there is no easy way to achieve the perfect body. Even with genetics, even people who have genetics, even people who may, take PEDs or different things like that, they still have to put in the work. I don't really think that there is a magic pill out there. I haven't yet to see one. And I think that, by personal experience and just, people in my life and what I've seen and research is, like I said, there is no pill. There is no single way to necessarily get to your goals, your fitness goals. Like, it's a consistent process, and routine it's going to be one of them. And sometimes routine is boring, you know, um, but it's all part of it. And it was something you said earlier too that kind of made me kind of sort of want to pivot to like being in a funk, right? So I know that, you know, when you have clients and stuff, um, they may start off high and then they may hit a low and then they get back up and come down. So I know for me, um one of the things that I need to do is kind of do a reset. And I'll go more into that in a little bit, but I kind of want to see or kind of want to hear what your thoughts are on how, so maybe some helpful hints or something like that that someone may be able to use when they're struggling with being in a funk. And I guess, you know, for anybody who's watching, kind of sort of what I mean by being in a funk is just maybe being in a place mentally where you just don't want to work out. Like nothing's really wrong. You just like, man, I really just don't want to work. I just don't have the desire to work out. Or I'm just not motivated to work out, you know? So, okay, you can go ahead now.
Yeah. I think with motivation and stuff too, it comes in with some of the stuff you said leading up to is the self-image. If you failed in the past, you're gonna make it a big deal when you miss for a few weeks, or like if all of a sudden you feel like shit, you're gonna make it a really big deal because you think you're gonna fail yourself again. So it's the judgment of not doing it. And if that's what makes you feel bad, and then it's like, all right, well, if I don't do it, I just don't have to feel that. That's what you think for now. Until all of a sudden you're like, wow, I've been thrown way off course. And so there's a bunch of stuff you can do to improve self-image. And a lot of the stuff we do to kind of cope with having a poor one at the moment, it leads to maintaining it because you ignore it. And then it feels so far off, right? Like having six-pack abs or like whatever kind of thing we do to trick ourselves. Or like say that everything will be different when I have six-pack abs. No, you still have shitty days. You'll still not be into it at some point, right? Like,
yeah.
Or if you win, like look at what's that? Tyson Fury. He realized after he won a bunch of fights that he's major depressed and he's got addiction issues and all this shit.
Yeah,
he just kept burying it. And a bunch of fighters have that. A bunch of athletes have that. And it's their self-image. So no matter how much they win, right? LeBron James wins a bunch. If he has a poor self-image, it'll still be there. Right? Like no matter where you go, there you are.
Yeah,
we're our
true.
own problem. So how you get out of that would be minimal change. This goes right into that question, right? Ask if I was going to be somebody who I care about, you know, like you care about your mom or a family member. If I was going to be somebody I care about, how would I treat myself right now? Probably more supportive than how you feel right now. You'd be like talking shit to yourself and stuff.
Yeah.
So we could do away with that kind of like thought process.
Because one thing that works for me, well, like when I kind of get into a funk, I just get there, but I usually don't last there long. I started one of the things. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. All right, so I came up with a challenge actually this morning. So I walked 4 miles this morning, and because I've kind of been in a funk, I have still been working out, but I haven't been as consistent as I want to be. And sometimes I'll kind of like half do the workout or something like that. But for this week, I've been going strong, and that's only been within the last 2 or 3 weeks. But it was a lot stronger here before. But one of the things I'm going to do is I'm kind of do a reset. I believe in like doing resets, and like what a reset is pretty much do something hard or something challenging that's going to challenge you mentally and physically. So what I'm going to do this Saturday, I called it a 2x4x6 or 2-4-6 is what it is. And I do 2 miles at 2:00 a.m., 4 miles at 4:00 a.m., and then 6 miles at 6 a.m. So And after the 2, the 4, and the 6, I'm going to journal for 15 minutes. I'm not using predetermined topics, but if someone wanted to, they could. And I'm also not going to be listening to a podcast or music or anything. It's just going to be me. So first of all, at 2, 4, and 6 o'clock in the morning, it's going to be dark. But I feel like what's going to happen is after I do that first walk, I'm going to be tired because I've been up all day. After the 4 mile, I'm going to be really tired. And I just feel like my mind's going to be able to open up. I'm doing something I really don't want to be doing at 2, 4, and 6 o'clock. I really don't want to be up there walking. But I feel like I'm going to gain so much from doing that I'm willing to try and just see how it's going to affect me, and then with the journaling, like I said, I just feel like I just want to be with nature and in my own thoughts for that time. And I think the good thing about that is when I start off at 6 o'clock, well, it's a 6-mile walk or a ruck. So I'll be able to see the sun come up. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's going to be a great start of my day. I know I'm going to be tired throughout the day, but I just feel like what I'm going to be able to write down is going to be very good. It's going to be very powerful. And like I said, so this is what I'm doing to kind of sort of reset my system this weekend. And like I said, no music or anything like that. It's just going to be me and my thoughts and the pen and paper. And I'm not using the technology either. So
yeah, and that kind of thing too, you can dissect it, make your own challenge, and that you could do that in a journal session. Like if I was going to challenge myself, doing like a tech break, like no computer after a certain time of the day or something, that's huge. And that'll be in your head. You'll be like, oh, I ought to check my email. Well, why am I checking my email? Am I really doing work, or is this just because it's a low-grade addiction? It's just like it's piquing my interest. I need
lollygagging.
I need to think about myself. Yeah. And then walking at any point in the day is not the worst thing. It's like, how do you make it enjoyable without checking out by doing the podcast? Like usually when I'm doing my running or walking or whatever, I don't use the podcast.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it takes me so far out of it,
Yes and no. All right, so here's why I am. So I don't do the music. I do music here and there, not as much. But I switched to the podcast because of the time. So I felt like if I get some, Earn Your Leisure or, David Goggins, Eric Thomas, whoever I may be into that day, whatever podcast it is, I feel like I can work on my mind and my body at the same time. So I do it out of, I just do it as a time restraint. It just gives me a time to do that. And I get so much out of it. But yeah, I totally get not having anything. And that's why I'm going to do mine with nothing. When I do it this weekend, my reset with nothing. Because I do understand the benefits of it.
I'm throwing in the music on like Friday. Because by that day, I don't want to do anything. And so then it's like nice to check out, like listen to some tunes or something.
Yeah.
Podcast, get some info. But yeah, I think for the journaling too, it's just 3 pages a day, and it could be anything. Like, oh, I'm stressed about this. You don't have to get the answers to anything. Just write out all the feelings, get it out of your head. You can reread it if you want.
3 pages. All right, so 3 pages, right? You talking about somebody who has, not necessarily me, but someone who's trying to start working out, right? Start getting into, taking care of their bodies and different things like that. They got, he may have a wife, kids, a job, and he may have never written anything down before in a long time. So did you have to work up to 3 pages, or did you start with 3 pages, or maybe start with a half a page to kind of get in the habit of doing it? Or do you find it pretty easy just to whip out 3 pages?
I think it's a decent little benchmark, right? I mean, it depends on the size of the page too.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, just get some thoughts down, and then you have something to go off of. And you as soon as you say like, all right, I'm working out at 2 o'clock today or something after work, and then I'm gonna let's see. So you write out the workout, but now all these other thoughts come in right after it. And maybe there's like these little breaks where you don't really have anything to write. And then you just say, I wonder what the weather's like tomorrow. And then rather than checking it right away, you just go, all right, well, if it's nice, I'll do this. If it's raining, I'll do this. Or you'll do it anyway, right? However you feel like you want to do it. But now you can prepare for any option.
See, when you said, what's the weather going to be like? I could imagine myself picking up my phone and starting going to see what the weather is. And then next thing you know, 15 minutes then went by and I stopped journaling.
Start scrolling.
start scrolling on that phone. I've done that before. I think I actually did it this morning.
Oh yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
But you just get awareness, It's like, I know I'm gonna scroll if I check the weather app, so don't check it. Just what are you gonna do if it's crap out today? Okay, I'll do like a little apartment thing. Got the 20-pound dumbbells or the yoga mat. I'll do some sit-ups, push-ups, squats. Do a video. Follow along with a video. Okay, cool. That's my plan.
You just said one of my favorite A words, awareness, and more specifically, self-awareness. I find that in order to do anything, I put that in the top 5, top 10 too. You have to have self-awareness, and I think that self-awareness. So here's why I feel like self-awareness is so important with fitness. All right. So I for the most part, I go 7 days a week, right? I only take off when I need to, and I'm fine with that. But I have gotten to the point to where I am self-aware enough to know if when I'm taking off and I'm not working, if I'm injured, if I'm hurt, if I'm tired, if I'm, ill or whatever like that. But it has come from years and years and years of accountability and having self-awareness. You know what I mean? So, because I know that a lot of people, especially when starting off, they don't have that self-awareness. They'll be working out, and then the next day they'll be like, "Oh man, I think my leg is broke." And I'm like, "No, your leg is not broke. It's just sore because you hadn't worked out in 14 years, and that's okay. You're going to have those pains and injuries, and not necessarily injuries. You have those pains and uncomfortabilities, and that's part of the fitness journey." You know what I'm saying?
Part of it too is when like at any point, right, doing workouts that kind of give you energy. They're not like you're busting down walls and like you're running at your top speed. It's like if you wake up feeling like a 5 and you can do some meditations or journaling, and then you get your body moving, right? You do some push-ups or like whatever kind of add-ons you want, right? You could do like all body weight stuff, or you could hit the bag or something, or whatever your go-to thing is to feel good. You do that for 10 minutes and now you feel like a 7.
Yeah.
Now that carries you into some evening time or the rest of the day. It's like, if that's your routine, it's a good lifestyle, because now you're hitting fitness, but it's not like you're breaking down because of it. We want to only be building up. And then that's where the journaling comes in, because you can track, all right, I played basketball for 10 minutes. Next time I'll start doing 20s. And now all of a sudden you're building up your cardio, and it's like effortless. We want it painless, we want to feel good.
So when you track journaling and stuff like this, do you track like your mood or how you feel, or like, how was the workout or something? Because I used to do that.
Yeah, I'll write down every little thought.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like, oh, I walked in the gym, or like I woke up just kind of feeling shit.
Yeah.
And then I'll go, all right, I really want to just do this. And then, so like, say for me, it's like hit the bag for like 10 minutes and then skip some rope. Those are nice little activities and whatever. And then sometimes after you do that, all right, well, that's all the time I had or something. But then other times you go do like 3 or 4 things. Those are cool days too. But it's like you catch all those in between. But it's like you have more just crap workouts that you just have to push, and then once you get that groove going, you're good. But you have more workouts that just, they wouldn't have happened if you didn't have the habit.
I've had some of my I've had some of my best workouts on days where I did not want to go to the gym. You know what I mean? And I think that for a lot of us, it's easier for us to go to work when we're having a bad day. But if we're having a bad day, we're like, well, I don't want to go to the gym today because I'm not feeling it. I get that, but at the same time, and that's where priorities and self-awareness and all these different things need to come into play. Because if you can do that for that, it means, oh, well, that's how I earn my money and how I eat. I get that. But your health is just as important as the money and the finances and different things you have coming in the house as well.
It's a mind bender, right? Because it's like, hey, this pays for the rent. This pays for the people around me. Mm-hmm. But like, dude, if you don't take care of you, those people aren't taken care of. We gotta figure out how to take care of you. Mm-hmm. Then these other things can be worked on because they're gonna happen anyway. Yep. You can always just put these in the backseat. You're running or walking or doing little things like I play a lot of guitar. I'm not gonna be getting up on stage, but like I'll go play guitar. It puts me in a good place,
Yeah.
It's like,
cool, it's your thing.
Yeah. And it's like as much as a routine is helpful, it's also great to break the routine, And so like if you only think of fitness as just a breakdown, you gotta like really feel sore after workout. That's a good workout. Nah. Yeah. Not always, you really have to be able to vary that. It's like, yeah, I feel good after my workout. And then some days when I'm really feeling good and I know I'm hitting the gym, you hit it really hard and the next day you're pretty sore. But like, it counteracts it because you felt good when you went in, felt good when you came out. Now you're a little sore.
Yeah. I like working out consistently because I like being able to take time off when my body's ready. Like
that's the reward.
I can take off any day I want to. I'm like, look, I'm just not working out today, and like I'm going to be totally fine. And for me, even though I've never been like severely overweight or anything like that, I have been overweight according to military standards a couple of times. Not because I was fat, just because I ended up carrying on a lot more muscle and muscle tissue and different things like that. But I was still over. But it was, and I can speak from I'll speak it from this point. We used to have to do the 2-mile run in the military, right? For the APFT, the Army Physical Fitness Test. I don't know how they did it now, something different now. But I always sucked at running. So it was always harder trying to train up for that one event. Like I would be sucking for weeks because I didn't like running and I hated running. But what happened, I found out like, look, dude, you're going to be in the Army for a little bit of time. So you may as well get good at it. So what happened was I started getting good at running. So it afforded me opportunities to slack off. If I wanted to slack off that day during the APFT, I could slack off because I knew I was going to pass anyway. So it was easier for me to go in after a while, and I became a little older and a little bit more seasoned as a leader in the military. It just made more sense to put in the leg work ahead of time to make things easier. I've heard, somebody said, if you work hard, your life would be easy. You know what I mean? If you, take it easy, your life's going to be hard, So I've taken on that approach. And now it's a lot easier to stay in shape because I've gotten so much on top of it now versus having to, keep starting over and, doing all these different things. Starting from ground zero every New Year's. That got to be
not gonna work.
Yeah. Because for a lot of people, that's when it happens. They
get reminded around then. It's like New Year, all right. And then you get on the wave a little bit. Maybe you ride it out for a couple months. And then it's over until next year.
And then it's over until next year.
Let it get over.
Yeah. Like right now, I think about, what is this? This is October the 27th, right? So think about all of those people who started their journey, their brand new journey, new me. This is 2021. I'm going to lose and I'm going to build. And they never made it to March. You know what I mean? Yes, life happens, but life is always going to happen. You know what I mean? Like we ain't going to get all. You're not going to get around it.
Life is fast and slow. Like
Yes.
sometimes it's like, oh man, like, I'm busy this week. Yeah, but next week
Mm-hmm.
you're at the gym, you're back into like having options and having your time about you.
Yeah.
And it's just it always feels weird when you're going through it. Like when you're talking about getting good at running, it didn't
Mm-hmm.
feel like something you wanted to do. But then, there's just so much of a priority on running in the military that it's like, hey, I'm here. I might as well do my best, and then it turns into something.
Mm-hmm.
But for the vast majority of people, you're working. Maybe you're the lead guy at work, and the last thing that you're thinking about is yourself, and that's just flat out got to change.
Yep. Dude, look, so I was a sprinter in high school. I ran like between the 1, the 2, anything up to like a 600. I didn't run anything over that. But man, so when I joined the military, we had to run 2 miles. I'm like, bro, 2 miles? That's a whole lot. Never loved it, man. I started liking running my second deployment to Iraq because every month I forgot every month they used to have a 5K and they would run around this place called Z Lake, right? And we would go to Z Lake and every month they had a 5K and you would get a t-shirt. So you could sign up for free, but different units sponsored these different 5Ks. And so I always got t-shirts. So what happened was I started running these 5Ks every month to just for the free t-shirts. And then I started training because I wanted my times to come down. I started seeing on paper, journaling, which I didn't even realize it was journaling, writing down my times and keeping track of them so I could go back and look and see how I did the next time. Because I trained for 5K for that month in between, but I never did run another 5K. I just wanted to see what I was going to do the next month. You know what I mean? And that's how I started liking running. Like I never liked running before then.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think too. I mean, people at all different stages of the game, even if they're seasoned, like fitness people or what, sometimes they're influenced to like fitness and they don't track anything. Well, what could you get out of tracking a little something?
A
And then
whole lot.
somebody starting out, you're going to be way ahead of the game because if you're not just going off of feeling like, oh, I feel like I should do back today, I feel like I should do chest,
Yep.
oh, we got to hit all this stuff all the time. Or like, do your main sport and then do the things around it that'll help you, deadlifts and squats and stuff to keep you going, and then
Yeah.
stretching. Like you have an idea of what you're doing. It's right there. It's not
Yeah.
up in the wind. It's not like, oh yeah, some days I do this, some days I do that. I think
I,
you hold off injuries a lot that way too.
yeah. A lot of stuff you said, I'm kind of capturing some of it, into a little small package. And it comes down to like being happy and stuff like that. So I find that like with working out, you also, especially if you're new or you're super busy and stuff, that you kind of need to pick something, some sort of exercise routine or something like that you're going to enjoy doing. You know what I mean? I think that's really key. I think often people will start something um for because they want to get in shape and want to do these things and oh yeah, I need to go to the gym and do this and then they burn out in a month, when they could have just been consistent with riding their bike, every day and been more successful for longer. Because like you said, like if it's a if it's a pain in the butt or you feel every time that you got to work out, a lot of it I think is because people's perception on working out too. And and they feel like it's all day, and it's only
And
less than an hour, you
yep,
know.
yep. And a lot of it too is it's the marketing of fitness. Like you have the classic hands crossed personal trainer guy. Like, yeah, we're gonna do all this stuff that you've never done, you don't like to do, or you don't know you
Mm-hmm.
like, because you don't know
Yeah.
why you want to do it. It's like if you know everybody knows some exercise they're gonna go and do. You can go ride your bike and take some pictures along the way, and that's
Mm-hmm.
fitness. It's like redefine it for you, man.
Yeah.
You get a lot further.
Yeah. You
And
don't
like, I mean, this is what I'm doing, but it's like this is what you're doing, and you're a 20-year military veteran.
Yeah. Yeah.
Works for you, right? It
Yeah, it
keeps you
works for
going.
me. Yeah, absolutely.
One of the baddest dudes on the planet, you know?
Dude, if it ain't broke, I ain't gonna fix it. Like, I don't like. I used to drink the Kool-Aid, man. I used to drink the Kool-Aid. I thought I had to do this, all this stuff, but I don't. The biggest thing that I had to do was just, for the most part, just be consistent. Just do it all the time, and it just became easier. It became part of my life. It became part of just what I do. You know what I mean? And that is just a lot easier. You know what I mean? Um, which is great. You know what I mean? Because I benefit so much from it.
It's so much is gone, like wrong with the way they market it to be. But sometimes it's what the people are asking for.
Yeah.
You know, people are asking they want to be a badass, so they show you a badass. But like for somebody starting out that doesn't feel like that, well, how am I going to get over this hurdle?
And most people are not going to achieve that badass anyway. You know what I mean? Most people are never going to be that. You know, most people are not going to be Goggins or even anywhere close to that. You know what I'm saying?
You
and
don't
it comes
need to,
back.
Right? It's who you want to compare
You don't
yourself
need to. Yeah. And just like, you know, if it comes with self-awareness, like about what are your realistic expectations and what are your realistic goals about what you want to achieve. And I think that's something that is not necessarily talked about enough. And I feel that because a lot of people are always trying to get the quick buck. And he's, oh yeah, you know, you come sign up for my program, and in 2 weeks, you know, I have you losing 50 pounds. And honestly, like I could work with somebody in 30 days and get them to lose 50 pounds, but at what cost? You know what I mean? At what cost to them physically, mentally, and am I really doing them, you know, the best service? You know, and probably not. You know, maybe if I had them losing 1 or 2 pounds a week, depend on the person, maybe a couple of more, depending on how motivated they are. You know, but
it's the thing too. The Goggins, right? He's dominating the fitness stuff now because he's not at war.
Yeah, exactly.
So if he's racing you on a road race, or he's doing swimming, he's doing it with all that pushing him forward, where for everybody else it's just for looks, it's just because it would be good to do. So it's a little bit different different like mindset that he's taken into his fitness. I heard him talking about like maintaining his warrior even though he's just a civilian now, and so he's like, I'm trying to stay in that mode, and if I stop running like a marathon every day, I'm just going to go back to being me. And so he doesn't want to be that weaker version of himself because he knows how easy that'll build up. So he keeps those calluses fresh. You know, he talks about the callus in his mind. And it's like, well, a lot of people just need to learn how to build the callus.
That's it, man.
Great for them. You know, that'll be great.
That's it, man. That's it right there. That's part of the key right there. That's part of the reason why I'm trying to reset to get about this funk. You know what I mean? I went 4 days in a row, but I was only off a day or two. But I know mentally, like, and the weird thing about it is me and one of my sisters were texting this morning, and she was like, she hit me up and was like, hey, you know, last time we talked, you know, you wasn't as upbeat as you were. And I was like, yeah, you know, life happens, but I'm for the most part, like, I'm fine. Like, there was really nothing wrong, but she can sense it in me. And the weird thing about it is I was up here this morning recording a video. I don't know if I'm gonna post it or not, but I was recording a video that talked about how I was in a funk, which was so weird. Like, I'm recording a video and then her text message comes through. Crazy. You know what I mean?
Synchronicity. That family calls you out on that all the time, right? Like, they know the best. They go, oh, he's in something right now, you know, like, but then like somebody else, you come around, you go, hey, how's it going? They don't know how you would like to come off. So no, it just passes right by. But then, like, you know, you get around your girlfriend or your parents or somebody, they're like, huh, that's not
somebody that know you.
Yeah, they know
intimately.
You
yeah, like that.
That bullshit won't fly with them. They go, what's up? And you go, I just can't shake this, you know, for whatever reason.
She's been knowing me for a long time.
it's that I think in those moments too, it's this too shall pass, right? There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. It's that yeah, you're in a funk for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the good journal sessions come up. Maybe you write a whole story to yourself, and
Yeah.
then you write about how you're in the funk. You know.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably going to write about it this week. On Friday, it was Saturday morning. I'll probably write about it. I'm pretty sure. I said I wasn't going to have any predetermined topics, but with that, I think that may be a good topic to write about.
I think that's always a good topic.
Yeah.
Being in the funk. Write that 100 times through. You have a bunch of different stories.
I think it's good to journal about any negative thing or any issue that you may be going through in life. I think writing it down on paper, being able to look at it, being able to read it, and then come back to that at some point, I think could do a good thing. So like even in elementary school where I work, I believe that there are some benefits to, little kids to journal and different things like that. So I got all the love for journaling. Even though I'm not a big journaler, I want to be. Like I want to do it more. You know what I mean? I'm a big note taker.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Check out The Artist Way. The Artist Way is like what I had a little book that said I've read it a little bit, but this other book kind of recommended the highlight of it. It's just 3 pages a day, and then on the weekend, if you want, you go through with a highlighter and take out any like really powerful quotes or whatever, and then they're fresh in your head. And so it's like when we're talking about entering the valley, it's like, all right, now what's going to change as I go through this? And then next week, maybe those feelings aren't there. And then you go, this kind of quote kind of helped me get through it. And now you keep that thought in your mind for next time. It's going to come back. And then you're up on your the peak, right? You feel good, no problems really. Next time you enter the valley, I got to think about this, keep this fresh.
Mm-hmm. It's funny how we just came right back to journaling again. Must be. Yeah, must be. I like it, man. Like I said, I really want to get more into it. One of the things I got back into more during the pandemic was mindfulness and more meditation, and taking care of myself. You know what I mean? I feel like you take care of yourself, and then once you take care of yourself, you got the rest of the time to go take care of the world and do everything else. What are some of your thoughts on self-care, self-awareness, meditation, anything that has to do with centering yourself or focusing on you so you can go and be the best version of you?
Yeah. It's like the journaling or the meditation or the workout, it's all just a way to spill off those feelings. You're going to catch the good ones. You're going to learn to do better things with the bad ones, and you spill it off in a more purposeful way, right? If you get a great quote that really means something to you, it's better than just sitting in your shit all day and just being like, oh, I feel bad. It's like as soon as you feel bad, just journal about it. And then maybe something comes to you that goes, hey, this is the way out. Maybe something doesn't for a little bit. You just sit in the shit for a little while. It's okay too. It'll all serve its purpose. But it's just like when we're training, we're getting under the bar and you're tearing muscle under there, right? You're doing squats, you're tearing muscle. You get under that emotional feelings. You're building some emotional muscle, and like the way out of it is, if this wasn't my problem, how would I treat myself? So like, and that's a meditation in itself, right? Sitting there with a pen and thinking your way through something. A lot of times it's just foggy because it's all up here. It's like, put it down, really develop the thought, let it, and then you see how something goes together. It's like, co-workers at work, and then you come home and you always feel this certain way. It's like, well, maybe it's time to quit the job then. You got to go and do something else. I don't know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You always have options. You always have options. And then sometimes you just got to have some confidence to go and change something.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I can help. I can definitely see how this can be very useful to everybody. So I know we kind of hit on it, but how often do you work out every day? Not every day or like bi-weekly or anything like that. Because I know that, some of the things that, when we train people and when we have clients and stuff like that, everybody's on their individual plan. Because, I mean, for the most part, you can do group things, but for the most part, in order to really dial in, and in order to really be efficient, in order to really gain your goals, that personal trainer, that coach and stuff is really the person that you need to help dial it in to really, how you're supposed to. And I know that since that, we are not always on the same plan as our clients. So what are some of the things that you do to help maintain your fitness level and, different things like that? Like not how consistent are you, but, kind of sort of like, just tell us a little bit about your routine.
Yeah, so I just kind of jumped into the running thing. I'd never been a total runner. I run with sports, but lately a personal challenge of mine is running every day. And I just run 10 minutes a day, and I break it up 2 minutes with a 30-second sprint to fill 10 minutes. And I'm sweating and I'm out of breath. I don't know how far I'm getting, but like my legs are sore, and I'm doing that every weekday. And then the weekend I take time off. And then, I work with each client for an hour apiece, and we talk about what they're going to go and do. And we work around the problems, just like I'm working around my own, right? Like going and having obligations and planning around them. You got to go and do that. And then I'll usually do some sort of weight training, whether it's body weight or like strength training stuff 4 times a week. And I mean, it's always ever evolving, right? Sometimes I'm doing a 5x5 because our guy Elliot, it's like, oh, I watch his videos and I got to do sandbags, I got to go do deadlifts. But then other times it's like, I don't know, I got a tire out back, I'll go flip the tire. Do some stuff that's not so regimented, I guess. But that's a nice. I just find pairing, like running and flipping the tire, has been my like thing for the past 2 weeks. And then this week I've been doing a little bit more boxing, hitting the bag and holding mitts or hitting mitts as well. And anything that's usually like you need to change routine. I like doing like a 5-week thing, and maybe on the 5th week I don't do anything. Because I pushed all the way, and now this whole week I'm just gonna chill. I planned out the chill though.
Yeah, you planned it out. See, that goes back to the routine again too, and then breaking up the routine sometimes, because you may have a routine for 5 weeks, but then you break it up and you go do something else. Because I did something for October, and then like all of September, like all I did was, August. I think like all of August, all I did was run, like run, like almost every day. Run, ruck, and walk almost every day. Mostly run. And then, September, end of September, I did some stuff. October, kept switching plans, was in a group with some guys who were supposed to be doing this. We all kind of sort of wasn't feeling it, so we all kind of broke off from that, kind of did our own thing. And then now I'm back into doing what I enjoy the most, and that's like body weight work. So like push-ups, crunches, pull-ups, dips, box jumps, kettlebell swings, limited curls, maybe some squats with weight on it and stuff. But I do, 10, 15, 20-minute workouts of those every day, along with a 2, 3, 4, 6 mile walk, run, or ruck. And that's what all I do. Like, I don't do a whole bunch of getting under the bar and stuff. Oh man, the kettlebell, I was on it yesterday. Wore me out.
I just posted a video of the kettlebell, me doing the kettlebells the other day.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta go and look at it.
Yeah. It's not. It's like it's an all-around tool. You can do the endurance, you can do the strength if you got a heavy enough one. But if not, it's like you're walking around with a kettlebell. You throw it in the car. You can go do a work. I like doing like nature workouts and stuff. So if I'm not at my place and I want to go to like a state park or something, got it right here.
Yeah. Do you have one of the adjustable weight ones?
No, I just got the cannonball. I got like a 30 or 35. Yeah.
So I got I got the adjustable one, and you can put like 4 plates on it, like 10-pound plates or something, the Sono. But mine is 44 pounds. But I can't put any more weight on it because that's as far as it'll go, unless I get some big wide plates or something.
You do Turkish get-ups?
I do not like those.
They suck. Those are and you walk in the gym, almost nobody's ever doing a Turkish get-up.
They take so long to do too. It's so time consuming just to do one. And that's honestly probably the main reason why I don't do them. And like I did them when I did CrossFit, but dude, man, they take forever. It takes a long time.
With all the running you've done in the military and on your own, 10 miles is probably nothing to you, huh?
Man, please. So the last time I did 10 miles was last year, October 20. I did the Army 10 miler. That was the last time I did it. I haven't done 10 miles since. And before that was in 2020. The last time I did 10 miles was in 2013. So I hadn't did 10 miles in 7 years. So honestly, the thing about the military, unless you're in certain groups, you really don't run 10 miles. So we do a lot of, I would say, 5 and below miles. Most units, you're going to be under 5 or 6 miles. And mainly because of time. Because in most units, it's an hour and a half of working out. So you can only get a certain amount of miles in during that time.
So you do throughout the day, like you'll do like 5 miles and then you like have classes, you eat, whatever, and then you got to run more? Or is it like you have PT and you're in classes for the rest of the day?
So I'll actually give you a day in the life. All right. So it's a little bit different when you're in basic training. So when you first go into basic training, speaking from the Army, I can't really speak for any of the other services, but in the Army, pretty much you'll get up in the morning in basic training and you will go to work out. You work out usually from 6:30 to 7:30 or 6:30 to 8, something like that, depending on what time you got class. As soon as you get back, you get dressed, and then you go eat. And then once you come back from eating, for the most part, you're in classes all day long. That's how it works. So you only do that fitness that one time during the day. Now, in basic training, you get in trouble, you get smoked, you do a lot of push-ups. Hey, get down, do push-ups. So you do a lot of that. I when I first was in there, I'm like, oh, they just been douchebags. They just wanted to make us push. But it wasn't that. You know what I mean? They're trying to kind of sort of break everybody down from this civilian mindset and build everybody up to work together as a team for the mission. But yeah, man, so that's kind of how it is in like basic training and kind of sort of like AIT. But once you get to your unit, for the most part, you get in, you do PT in the morning from 6:30 to 7:30 usually. You go back home, come back in at 9 o'clock. You work from 9 to 11:30, doing whatever it is. You do your job. And then from 11:30 to 1, most units go to lunch. And then you come back at 1 o'clock to about 16:30, 4:30 to 5 o'clock. And then you're done for the day until the next day. So now when you're training for like, special forces, ranger school, all these big schools and stuff like that, you are going to up your PT. But in those units, they may do more PT. I don't really know, but it's usually not PT done throughout the day. There will be individual people, like what I used to do my last couple of years. I would go doing lunch. So I would work out in the morning, and then me and like a couple other guys, like shout out to Song Winners. We used to go to the gym doing lunch. So we would go take our tops off and go in there and hit the weights. Oh yeah, and shout out to Son Connor. He used to roll with us sometimes too. So yeah, man, we used to hit that gym hard during lunchtime. Like
I love the like the whole experience of this whole thing, right? You go in, you do boot camp, and everything about the person's going to change because you're really gearing up now.
Yep.
and that's what I like to think my transformation is all about. It's like I'm with them for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And we're looking at it, right at the first, everybody pushes in hard and they're in their best, and then life starts to come in as we go, and we're going to figure out how to best work around that together. But hopefully, I like to think I'm giving everybody the tools that you go out and you can do this, and you're thinking through a supportive lens that now it's like they're a business soldier, a business athlete. Like what they go and do now is like, I'm going to get my stuff done so then I can be front and center, be better than be at the best I can be for whatever I have to be in my life, Whereas before they had habits they wanted to change and didn't know what to do, or they were kind of like clouded in the vision about doing it. And so in 12 weeks, a lot can change. I mean, what is it for the military?
9 or 10 weeks
Yeah, so we're right
eight,
around there.
9 weeks. Yeah. I think basic was, I think when I went, it was 8 weeks, I think. An extra week to like get all your uniforms, but they do it different now. And I went in, where did I go in? I went in 94. So I went in probably before you was even born.
Yeah, I was on the earth at 96. 96.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So yeah, things were done a little bit different. I I didn't always enjoy PT. I didn't always enjoy fitness as much as I do now. So and speaking from you, like I started playing sports at like 7 years old. Like for you, for fitness, is that something that you like? Have you always been into fitness? Have you always worked out? Or is this something that, you got into as you became an adult?
I think I just with school, everybody's in there. Everybody's into. That's where I found it. I wasn't like a book nerd. I wasn't like really successful with school. I didn't love being in class, but then recess comes around, and it's like, oh, I love playing. I love doing this, and so I always prioritized it. And then I had like bullying and stuff, so that's when I got into boxing. And then you take up like all the stuff you learn about Bruce Lee and stuff, and you hear the quotes, and you're like, oh, you start to. For me, it was just like, this is what I want to go and do. And then when I saw Elliot Hulse around, I was like 13 or 14, right around that next stage of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's what I want to be. I want to be a coach. So I went and for the next 10 years figuring out how to be a coach, how to do it. And I'm always learning. I'm always figuring out little things. I'm always learning about myself or how I can help somebody.
Yeah. So you said again, you went back to self-awareness, looking at yourself again. So like,
oh, you can't get away from us. You can't get away from yourself.
You can't, man. You just can't, like, you can't run from it either. Like, it's going to be here. Like every time you look in the mirror, this is speaking from someone who not necessarily happy with the person that they see in the mirror. You know what I mean? Like, you see that person every day. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. We may have hit on it last time, but maybe sort of have you, all right, so like for me, right? I'm 45 right now. So the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, the reason why I'm into fitness the way I am now, my mindset and the overall is different than how I used to think about fitness, right? So when I was younger, it was about looking good, about having six-pack abs, you know what I mean, for the girls or whatever like that. Like there was the arrogance, vanity were the main reasons why I wanted to, do into the fitness stuff. Which I I don't have a problem with that being a motivating factor. You know what I mean? I do have a problem with, I don't know if maybe I do have a problem with that being the only purpose. It is what it is. There may be some dudes who want to be out there and be like that, fine with them. But as I've shifted my mindset on the reason why I work out is totally different now. So now I work out to live, right? So I'm just like, if I leave this earth, it ain't going to be because of something that I could have controlled, right? So a lot of the reasons why I work out is for longevity. So when my sons and granddaughters and stuff are older, they can have those conversations with their grandfather, their great grandfather, their great great grandfather. So so for you, even though you haven't been on here as long as I have you noticed, like, in your life, some of the different reasons, like have you noticed some different reasons why? Has your thoughts about fitness and your reasons why you're into fitness changed over the years, in the last 10 years or so?
Yeah. I think the evolution that you talked about, right? Like how at first it's like you're just getting to know yourself a little bit, and then as you go, you're like, it's those times when you don't feel like doing it. Now it's like that spill off, right? You're uncomfortable at work or whatever, and then oh, I work out and I can control this, and I know how to make myself feel good through working out. All right, cool. And now it's like, all right, now I want to collect years where I'm in control of my mood more and more. And now the look of you is a benefit, because now you do feel good about how you look.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of comes with time, and putting your effort in the right place. But yeah, at first it's like, dude, I want to look better than everybody. And then at some point though, that doesn't get the workout done. It might for 10 times or so as you're going, but after a little while, it's like, yeah, all right, this is who I am. This is how I look. Whatever. And that's a whole journal session right there. Accepting how you look.
Time. Oh my goodness, that's a powerful word right there, and we can go so many different ways with this. But one thing I want to talk about is time. I know we talked about it last time as far as how much time it takes for people to start noticing or seeing some results and stuff like this. But as far as having self-awareness and time, have you ever found it challenging working with people, or let's just talk about in general, realistic expectations when it comes to time for people seeing their results? And I guess, what I'm trying to say is, sometimes people get in, they're hire a trainer and they say, hey, I want to lose 50 pounds this week because I got a wedding I got to go to and I got to get in this dress, or, I got to go my 20-year class reunion. I need to lose these 30 pounds in 2 weeks. What can you do for me? You know what I'm saying? So like, what are some of the conversations and what are some of the things that people talk about that y'all talk about when y'all start talking about time and realistic expectations, which this is probably going to come back to self-awareness, I feel like, at some point.
It always goes back, right? It's going to go back with me, especially. If you want somebody to go, do some extreme fad diet for 2 weeks and just that's it, surface, you go with them. But if we really want to go into it, that's where it's going to go with me, because that's the lasting change, right? That's
the longevity.
Help you in 2 years. That's going to help you in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if you're going to spend the money, if you're going to spend your time now, why wouldn't you want that, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway,
what about one of the things that I've noticed working with people is habit, right? And I know we talked about routine before too, and habit and routine sometimes overlap. A lot of things we do, like I brush my teeth and take showers and different things like that out of habit. You know what I mean? Like I get up and brush my teeth because it's what I do. It's also part of my routine. But there's also some things that's in my routine that are not habitual, and probably some things that I have just habitual that are not routine. So as far as discerning the difference between what's routine and what's habit when it comes to working out, like, what are some of your thoughts on that? I may have rambled and not cleared it up for you. So if I need to, please just let me know.
Yeah, no, I think I got it. Well, and this goes down to that, what you talked about. It's a big word, the intentionality, right? It's like the routine of being hard on yourself. It doesn't help you, but it's routine.
Mm-hmm.
But now, if we're gonna get intentional, shouldn't we look at that? We absolutely should.
Mm-hmm.
and then that'll help you do your job, and then do your workout, and then be a better lover, right?
Yeah. And even one thing about habit, I think sometimes people come in and they have these mental habits or these mental blocks, about themselves. They're like, well, I've always done it like this, but you haven't been successful at it, or even a habit like, I get up every morning. Good one. I get up every morning and I gotta have my coffee, right? And I gotta have 5 sugars, 10 creamers, and a half of gallon of mocha flavoring, right? So now every morning this person has to have their 600 calorie coffee. You know what I mean? But they've been doing it for so long, and mentally they feel like, and physically probably too, their body needs that caffeine every morning. You know what I mean? So I know enough to know that it's not just mental, that caffeine is an addictive substance and people can be addicted to caffeine. So but it also is not always addiction. Some of it is habit. You know, I'm bored, so I'm gonna eat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
There's a good book, Joe Dispenza,
mhm,
Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, and he goes through like the emotions we feel bring up a habit of like how we deal with that.
mhm,
But then with the intentionality, that's all from the mind, like the conscious effort of doing something. And I think when we're doing things intentionally, that's when we get the benefit. And then when we're on our heels, like letting our body inform us what we need, that's like wanting a quick coffee or like make a little substitution to our lifestyle. And that's why it's tough, is because you get these little signals to get them, and it's like, well, didn't you just say you wanted to change this? So now it's even harder because you have the physiological like feelings to need it or like crave it. You gotta really pull into that mindset and be like, no, but why aren't we doing that?
yeah. And when you hear that little voice in there, just like, don't eat that today, don't drink that today. That little voice sometimes is the most annoying person, but it's also the person who wants to help us the most. You know what I mean? And a lot of times we shut that person off. That's, you know, we